Yes, we are live. Welcome back, my dear friends. This is episode number 103 on Zero Point Healing Show. And I'm so excited for this session because guess what? We are going to talk about access consciousness. And that's the energy of access consciousness, the bright smile. And I just love it. So, and I also have with me an amazing certified facilitator of access consciousness who's going to blow you away. So, just before I get started, before I go on to him, just a short intro about myself. I'm Vishnupriya, and I love access consciousness. And I had been in this journey of certifying myself on different access consciousness classes. And I'm so happy that we're talking about it today. But I'm also certified in multiple other holistic healing modalities. But in my journey, I found each of these modalities are so beautiful when we look at it from no judgment perspective. And all of that kind of had helped me in the past to unlock different doors to different possibilities in my life. So as I came through that journey, I was kind of invited or inspired to create this kind of a platform, that which I call zeropointhealing.com, which is a web directory for all different holistic healing practitioners and modalities. And I was surprised when I did get started. I got to know about 6 to 10 different modalities. But after I opened it up, there are now at least 50 to 60 different modalities. And I was like, wow. And every day there is a new practitioner who comes and registers, who sends me and tells me, oh, this modality is not found on your website. Can you please add it? And I'm like, wow, every day there's these beautiful modalities that are coming up. And all of these are like amazing tools and keys that we can use. Each one of us can actually use. And for me, I have seen different times in my life, it has been different modalities that kind of helped me go from where I am to that next level. So that's the beautiful intro that I have for you. So if you are a holistic healing practitioner of any modality, I invite you to zeropointhealing.com. You can register for free, and you can also, if you're interested in this kind of interview, you can contact me. If you're a client, a normal person searching for different solutions and answers for your life, you can come on to Zero Point Healing and see all of these beautiful practitioners, see who can help you overcome or get through the challenge of your life. And I'm sure with so many modalities, so many different practitioners, there are solutions available regardless of what challenge you're facing in your life. All right, so that's it for my introduction. Now I'm ready to move on to my beautiful guest here. So, welcome, Connor. Thank you so much for being with me here. I'm so amazed and delighted. I have no reason why. So, tell us a little bit about yourself first and your journey into access consciousness.
Well, I mean, that's amazing that you've got so many people reaching out to you in the 50 modalities. That's amazing. Um, for me, I got, well, I'll put a little bit about myself. Um, I mean, let's try and make it short, I think. It's like I was originally born in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. Ah, geez, I shouldn't say that because you can get into passwords. Erase your memory. um, it's like I was originally born in Kansas, and I spent a lot of time like traveling back and forth between Kansas and Chicago, in the United States. So very Midwestern. Um, it wasn't. I didn't like. I saw the ocean a little bit, but from my point of view, I didn't really see the ocean until I went to Australia when I was like 21, and that was the first time I ever left the country. And it was difficult to keep me from leaving the country ever since. Um, and then I graduated university with a degree, Bachelor's of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering, and I did that. I was for a while in Kansas, California. Um, where else did I go? Like Boston, and then the New England area. And after that, I really was like, at that point in time, I had my bars run. I had taken a bars class. I even took a foundation, but honestly, even at that time, I just slept through my foundation class, and I was like, I don't understand what anybody's saying. What's going on? I was like, I was asking, who does this belong to for 3 years before I really started to get what the hell that even meant. That said, it's like, for those of you out there that don't know what that means, it's like, who does this belong to is a tool from Access Consciousness. And one thing I'd like for people to sort of receive from this is that Access Consciousness is a modality, and more so, it's like anything. So the name Access Consciousness is literally like access consciousness. And then the organization, our definition of consciousness includes everything and judges nothing, or everything exists and nothing is judged. And what I've really discovered is, it's like, my biggest target in life is to be aware of everything. How much aware can I be? Now, what is awareness? You can figure that out for yourself. But for me, it's like being aware of everything. Like, that's my best definition for it. I'm an engineer. Come on now. Don't ask me to like explain too much. So it's like, if you judge something, or if you can't, or if you're not willing to include it in your world, if you're not willing to receive it, then you can't really be aware of it. So being aware of things was also something that I discovered as a civil and environmental engineer. I discovered, like, made me far more effective at my job, because I was willing to be aware of things that other people weren't. Now, how do you access consciousness? Well, Access Consciousness has a whole lot of tools in order to do that, tools and techniques. One of those tools being, who does this belong to? So, like I said, I asked the question, who does this belong to, for about 3 years before I really went, whoa, that was really not mine. So the tool, I didn't realize I was going to jump in this fast, but I said it, so I got to explain it, I think, is the tool, who does this belong to, is like, for every thought, every feeling, and every emotion that you have going on for the next 3 days, ask, who does this belong to? Don't try to come to conclusion. I did that for about 2 weeks one time. I was like, that's not mine, that's not mine, that's not mine, that's not mine. Ask a question. Okay, just start there. Ask questions. Don't come to the conclusion of, it's not mine. Don't come to the conclusion of, it's totally that person's. Don't come to the conclusion of, it's everybody else's. It's like, you can have the awareness of, wow, that's a lot of people's. And an awareness is only good for 10 seconds. So if you have an awareness and a month from now, you're like, well, I was totally aware that one day about blah, 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 blah. Is it still an awareness? Or did you now take what was an awareness and you solidified it into your own universe as a conclusion? Now, maybe, hopefully, some of you are beginning to get how this works. Now, for me, I applied Access Consciousness to civil and environmental engineering. And how I did that was asking questions, and the others I didn't really get at the time, which was choice, possibility, and contribution. Those were like, I don't understand it. And I'm still like, wow, every day. So just asking questions. Make sure everything stays a question, because when you are a question, when you're being the question, you can be aware of everything. But the moment you come to conclusion, you actually exclude, like I talked about, access consciousness, including everything, judging nothing. The moment you come to a conclusion, all of a sudden, nothing can come into your universe that doesn't match that conclusion, which is not a very big universe. So I'm sure you've met some of those people where they're like, oh, this is the way the world works. And you're like, are you sure about that? So that's maybe too much information, or just enough in a nutshell. We'll see. So
Oh my gosh. All right. So I wanted to tell my viewers this is what happens when I bring Access Consciousness facilitators on my
yeah.
show. They run the show and I don't get to ask questions.
Sorry. I'm not sorry.
No, I actually like it and I'm enjoying it. So
Mhm.
already we are in our beautiful, beautiful title of Access Consciousness. And from the feedback that I've got from my close family circle, they tell me, oh, we understand all other modalities except for when it comes to access consciousness on title. Just we don't understand what you people, both of you, are talking, right? Our language, I think there's this beautiful lingo, where you said solidifying and conclusions and, coming into, one set of belief or whatever it is. So let's go in, dive in a little slower into those small pieces if you would like. And
Okay. Gently.
yes. So what are projections? What are expectations? What are conclusions? What are solidifications? So if that's something.
Sorry to all of you out there, but you're probably functioning from 99.99999% conclusions, expectations, and projections. It's like, I know I did. And it's like, it's like it'd be like if you're swimming in a pool, but like, I don't know, maybe you're totally submerged in a pool and you're asking, what is water? And you're like, you're already in it. And you're like, what are you talking about? You're in the water. What do you mean I'm in the water? It's all around you. It's like it's just been in all around you your whole life. You've never known anything else. And so it's just there. And it's so it's like you're like, what is it? It's like it's everything that's going on for you. So it's like Access Consciousness would be like, let's pull you out of the water, and you're like, whoa, it's not so wet anymore. And then you're like, what's this dry stuff? It's like a whole new world.
Mm-hmm. So let's get.
That's my little metaphor thingy for it, I guess.
Yes, beautiful. So if you want to go a little more into examples, maybe then we will go, now we get it.
Yeah.
So in your world, even, you said how you realized when you asked that question, finally you got into, I think even when you said, who does it belong to? I had that kind of practice of finding the answers, searching the answers for the question. So I think that's what Access Consciousness says, live in the question. So tell us about that. What does living in question means?
So it's like, one of the big things that not confused, but like, it's like one of the things that might show up is for a lot of people out there, like you said, you're on 0 point healing, 0 point. Yeah. It's like, and there's 50 modalities. And then you've got this one modality called Access Consciousness that's like, yes, you can apply Access Consciousness to all other modalities, but do not apply another modality to Access Consciousness. And you're like, oh, what makes you so amazing? And it's not actually that Access Consciousness is so amazing. It's like with Access Consciousness, you said living is the question. Living as the question is, what else is possible? What else is required? It's like, but I'll use myself as an example. It's like I was in Costa Rica and I got like a skin irritation from some grass. It was like all over my leg and all red and itchy. And I was like, I'm not going to go to the doctor. Notice the question, yeah? And I was like, I'm going to use the access tools. What else is possible? And blah, blee, blue, blee. And then after like 3 months, I was finally like, it was just so itchy, so red. I couldn't tell if it was spreading anymore. I started going crazy in my head. Not that anybody is doing this in COVID, except for like everybody. They're like, oh, I don't know if I can breathe. Oh, I think I should go to the doctor. Well, maybe it's COVID. I think I'm getting COVID. It's getting worse. Is it getting worse? I'm not sure. Like that's how I was with this thing on my leg. So I go to the doctor, and I don't like going to doctors. So I went to like in the United States, we have like little convenience stores called Walgreens, and then like they have a back corner where they have a nurse. And this lady was amazing. So let's put it this way. Access Consciousness says live is the question. there's a whole bunch of Walgreens. There's a whole bunch of these places that have nurses in them. I looked on a map where there were like 20, and it was like, which one? Okay, which Walgreens? You? Yes, no, no. You? Yes, no, no. You? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna go over this one. Cool. I went to that one, scheduled an appointment. This lady was amazing. She'd been a nurse for like 30 years, totally already functioned from question. Did she do access consciousness? No. But she lived as the question, at least in her job. Probably not so much in other areas in her life. And that's one thing I like to reach out to people. Like, look at where you do function in question in your life. Look at where you don't. I knew me as a civil and environmental engineer. I was very good at functioning in question. When it came to sex and relationship, really bad. So bad. Like, I'd be like, I'm in love. Not a very good question. I'm in love is probably the worst question you can ever come up with. I must say, you are in India, Vishnu, and I know that at least like the best marriages I've ever seen come from India, because they're like, we're arranged. I'm like, that sounds terrible. They're like, actually, it's really nice. And I'm like, oh, huh. They're like, we just know what each other requires and we don't expect anything else. I'm like, oh, you don't expect anything? Well, God, that sounds amazing. So, where was I going? I forgot. Help, Vishnu.
Living in question, the nurse.
There we go. Yeah, so I went to this nurse, and she's like, well, blah, blah, blah. Let me prescribe you something. I immediately went, nope, I'm not taking it. You can give me the little prescription, which is like writing out on a sheet of paper saying Connor Hill can have a drug. And I, the doctor, say that he can, because you can't just buy it from the store. And I was like, I'm not having it. But then just before she said the name of the drug, my body went, yes. And I was like, oh. Because at this point in time, I had already started asking my body, like, what would you like to eat today? What would you like here? What would you like here? Do you want beef? No. Oh, come on, but I do. It tastes so good. I don't want it right now. Gross. Fine. So notice the argument that I like to have with my body. Me and my body were like, not that any of you were like, body, listen to me. I will give you no sugar ever because it's bad. And your body's like, I really want some sugar. Chocolate sounds amazing right now. And so I go to this lady, and my body was like, yes, I want that drug. Now, did I come to the conclusion of I need to take this drug and the whole bottle of subscription? No, I went, okay, body, how much of this drug would you like? She gave me a whole bottle. How much did it want? It wanted the prescription dosage on the first day. I was like, how much do you want? 2 pills, like the thing says. Okay, cool. On the second day, how much would you like? 1 pill. Okay. On the third day, how much would you like? Half a pill. On the fourth day, how much would you like? I don't want any of it. Okay, I won't take any. Nope, but I kind of want some. What do you mean? Put it in my mouth? No, just put it in the pocket. Oh, really? You just want me to carry 1 pill around in my pocket all day? Yeah, that's good. And then 5th day, anything? Nope. And I was upset because it was steroids and it gave me a lot of energy. And I was like, yeah. And it was like I could pay attention to everything because I have major ADD. And I was like, oh my God, look at that. I can like do this. I'm like, I'm so creative today. So that's my story of living in question, is just never coming to the conclusion of this is what's required, but being aware of what's required.
Wow. And now I come to that question of, you're talking about how you talk to body, and I'm sure most of the viewers are going, what do you mean talking to the body? Am I not my body? So what is your explanation of how do you talk to your body? Where does that answers come from?
How do you talk to your body is a good question. And I say that because I personally cannot come to conclusion with, like, I try to come to conclusion with my body and it never works. I'm like, I so want wine tonight. And my body's like, and I'm like, which wine is going to be great, body? And if my body doesn't want wine, it'll be like, that one's going to be amazing. And I buy it, I open the bottle, I pour it in the glass. I'm like, this is going to be so good. And then I drink it. And I'm like, oh, that's the worst wine I've ever tasted. And then I can hear my body go, ha ha ha, I didn't want wine at all, you fucker. Sorry if I can't say fucker. I just did.
It's okay.
That's what my body says to me. It's like, you weren't listening to me. You said you wanted wine, and I was like, gross, I don't want it right now. And I was like, ah, come on. So it's just like listening. God. And I'm sure I'm sure none of you either use any projections and expectations that keep you from listening to everything your body would like to have. Because, I mean, sometimes it just doesn't require anything at all.
Yes. And when you got started, if we can go back in time, when
Yeah.
you started this kind of conversations, I'm sure it must be the first time you did after you come into Access Consciousness, may not be
Mm-hmm.
prior to that.
Yeah.
How did you sense your awareness, if that's the right words to use?
I didn't. Honestly, it's like, and thank you for the question, because I'm even realizing right now as we're talking, a part of the reason I fell asleep in my classes was Access Consciousness has, like you said, it has this energy. It has this energy of the willingness to be aware. And it was like I had so fucking concluded my entire world that it was just like, oh, I'm gonna go to sleep now. It's like it's probably falling asleep because I'm like, I have been working so hard to fit into this reality, and all of a sudden someone's saying, hey, you don't have to anymore. And I'm like, wow, I'll just relax and fall asleep now. So it's not just the words that Vishnu and I are talking about, it's the energy we're both being that is saying, hi.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes. So now let's talk a little bit about the classes that you offer and tell
Yeah.
us what are all those, fun stuff with Access Consciousness.
So right now, I offer all sorts of body process classes. So like the very first body process anyone would want to receive or take is what we already talked about, and that's the access bars. That's really just where you want to start. Period. Like if you haven't had your bars run and you're, you like jumping off cliffs, just go dive in to. I'm sorry, someone important's calling me. I have a feeling I have a prior engagement. This isn't a more important engagement. Um, is that Jesus? What was I saying?
Access bars.
Right, access bars. So for those of you out there that are like me, that forget what you were talking about really fast, it's okay. We don't make you wrong at Access Consciousness. We go, what is actually possible here? So I love that the person that is calling me right now, I'm like, just look at the other thread. I posted that I was going to be going live, or look at my Facebook. I'm sure you'll see it. So look at my, just trying to send it out there. So however that might work.
Just a few more
Access
minutes
bars.
and we're almost done. So
Exactly. Don't worry about it. I'm just laughing about it inside. I love it. I'm probably supposed to be somewhere. So um I'm a bad boy. Let's just put it that way. Access bars, body processes are where we put you, well, you people put your hands on someone else's body and both of your bodies change. It's really amazing. I also do classes with horses called Conscious Horse, Conscious Rider. I do Access Foundation, which is 4 days of, I mean, take what we've been talking about over this last half hour and expand it for 4 days. It's amazing. It's like my most favorite thing ever to facilitate. And then I also do something called symphony sessions, symphony group taster sessions, which are just so beyond this reality. So if you're interested in beyond reality and creating your own reality, definitely don't do any of these classes or any of these sessions. And then there's like a number of other things that I do that I can't even remember that I do.
gosh. All right. So I think let's quickly wrap up so you can run to where you want to. So,
Mm-hmm.
my dear viewers, I hope you enjoyed that. And just to give you, there are so many different access classes. As Connor said, you start off with a bars class and then you go to the foundation. And then from there, you take on, symphony and beautiful other classes that Connor said about. And of course, he offers so many different classes, especially with COVID. He's also doing it online, I believe. So if you want to kind of get hold of him, you can book classes with him by clicking on the link below. As well as he is also traveling all around the world once we do have chance for it. So he might come to your place as well. So contact him if you would like. Thank you so much. Wow, what a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you very, very much. And I really, it's like, if I was speaking from this reality, I'd say I wish the best of luck to 0 Point Healing. But if I speak from me, I'd say 0 Point Healing is awesome. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Kick ass.
Thank you
And
so much.
thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. All right, my dear viewers, I'm going to see you in my next show. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe, and you can also choose to share it with anybody whom you love, whom you think would contribute, this particular video might contribute to them. All right, I'm going to see you in my next show. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.